It's the Jacksonville Buzz. Amy West, Grant Smith, Adrian Houghton. From Studio 2 at Buzz TV, this is the Jacksonville Buzz.
Good morning and welcome to the Jacksonville Buzz. We've got a great show today.
We do.
And one of our guests is the wonderful Natasha Jones from Glamour Gourmet, and she's got some delectable, delicious delights.
Yeah, it's all about shiny things today. We're living it up. Donna Gray's going to be joining us from Global Island Treasures. I cannot wait to see her gorgeous jewelry. And you know, we're missing Grant today.
Yeah.
Grant's having fun in Chicago, but we're going to hear all about it later, I'm sure. But join us. It's all girls today.
It is.
Have fun. We'll be right back.
My parents started me in scouting when I was actually a Cub Scout. The values that scouting teaches guided me most of my life since I've been involved in it. Values that have continued to serve me even in my job as a judge. But it teaches teamwork. It teaches leadership. I urge parents to explore the program and to hopefully choose it for their children.
Sign your child up for Scouts at beascout.org today.
Welcome back. I'm joined in the studio today by Natasha Jones, and she is the owner and the designer of Glamour Gourmet. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, these are delicious little morsels.
Yes, ma'am.
But before we get into exactly what they all are, tell me, how did you get started?
Well, I have a daughter, and when she was a little girl, I used to try to find colorful snacks for her. So I was just kind of surfing the internet to see what I could find, and I came upon some colored strawberries. And so I just figured, like, how can I get those ingredients? So I looked into buying colored chocolate and just colored edible sprinkles, and then it just kind of happened. I posted it on Facebook, and it just kind of took off.
So that was, the strawberries were your first
Yes.
product.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've developed it on from there, haven't you?
Yes. People have parties and they ask for particular things, so I just started adding little things here and there to the menu, and it just kind of grew from there.
Now, we've got some in front of us here that look delicious. We have, what are these lovely little numbers?
Those are the Rice Krispie treats.
Ooh.
And they're on sticks, so you don't have to touch the chocolate and just pick it up and eat it like that. And then we have the dipped pretzels. The glamberries are the strawberries, and the little football shaped things, those are chocolate covered Oreos and Jello shots.
Now this looks a lot to me like a Jaguar theme.
Yes.
And I can see the beautiful Jaguars on the actual top of the cake.
Yes, ma'am. Those are some edible images. It's just like a food coloring on a sugar wafer paper. So everything is completely edible and can be custom to any theme or team, logo, whatever you like. We can make it happen.
Wonderful. Now, what's the most difficult or perhaps challenging project that you've had to do?
The most difficult is probably the sports teams. Like it's not hard, but they want it to be exact because they're like, we need this shade and we need this color. So the sports people are pretty.
And is that
hard.
Trying to get the colors exact, or the design
the
more than
colors
anything?
more so than the design, because I can just print the image. That's the easy part, but matching like the shades and everything.
So you print the images onto edible paper.
Yes.
And then you attach them to
Yes,
your products.
I do.
These are quite incredible. Now, I'm going to ask a sort of question that perhaps people don't want to know.
Sure.
But when we're talking about something like the delicious white chocolate strawberry covered in glitter, What sort of calorie are we talking about here?
Well, we don't really calorie count for the glam berries. If you're like diabetic or something, maybe just take one instead of all of them.
There's no just taking one, just for the record. I've actually had these at Christmas, and one strawberry is not enough. I can just tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
And those are the glam berries.
Glam
That's
berries,
what you call them.
yes, ma'am. They
Golly.
are.
Now, in the cake, for instance,
Yes.
is it just regular sponge cake, or
You can have any flavor cake you want. We have a variety of flavors to choose from, and whatever you like, I can make it for you.
and do you do wedding cakes?
I do wedding cakes and whatever occasion, birthdays, holidays, anything.
So this is basically an all-round dessert thing. If you can make it, you will.
Yes.
And anyone can have anything they like.
Anything they like.
Weddings, birthdays,
Yes.
snacks.
Yes. Even just
I'm hungry
because.
already. just looking at this, I'm hungry. I hope you are as well. Now tell me, Natasha, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way of finding you?
Right now, you can contact me through Facebook /Glamour Gourmet, or my Instagram page is @glamour_gourmet, or telephone, and I think they'll have it posted online.
It'll be posted online,
Okay.
yes. But you can tell them.
Okay,
Tell the
it's
viewers.
904-600-2335.
Well, this is a pleasure to have you here.
you.
It's wonderful to see these designs, especially with the Jaguar theme, because the
Yes.
Jaguars have started flying.
Yes, the
and
season is on, and this is my most common request is the Jaguars theme, and I love to make it because I love these colors together anyway.
fabulous.
And it's football season, so contact me. This can
Go
glam
Jags.
up your event, right?
Yes, glam up the thing. Natasha, an
Thank
absolute
you.
privilege.
Thank
you
you so
very
much.
much for joining us. And we'll be right back.
Wenn ich auf hohen Bergen stehe, wird mir ums Herz so wohl. Ich schau ins tiefe Tal hinab ins schöne Land Tirol. Ich sehe die weißen Nebel ziehen.
Welcome back to the Jacksonville Buzz. We are here with Donna Gray of Global Island Treasures, and I'm really excited about your very unique fashions, especially because I'm a big traveler and I love that you have global in the name, but
Yes.
your creations here are really great to bring on travels as well.
They are.
I want to hear a little bit about how you began and tell us about what's unique about your treasures here.
Well, I have to tell you, I never in a million years thought that I would be a jewelry designer. Nearly 4 years ago, I founded an organization called Sparrow's Wings, a nonprofit organization to help needy children.
Wow.
Shortly after, I said to my family, okay, I need to have a fundraiser. Should I have a car wash or bake sale? My daughter said, Mom, you love pearls. Do something with pearls. Before I could even respond, but I'm not a jewelry designer, my teenage granddaughter said, ew, not pearls. Pearls are for grannies. So what did I say? I said, okay, pearls it is.
That's a challenge.
That is a challenge.
And I'll figure out a way to make them so cool that even teenagers will like them.
And now she's your poster girl,
She
right?
is. She
Okay.
is. She's my signature model, and thank goodness she and her friends love my jewelry.
She is, and I love, Adrienne is modeling them so
Yes.
lovely. I love that whatever your style, you can work it in. Because we
That's
all have
true.
3 individual unique styles here, and we're all showcasing them. They're stunning pieces.
Well,
Tell us
thank
about
you.
the pearls themselves. What pearls do you use?
I work with several different types of pearls: Tahitian pearls, South Sea pearls, and freshwater pearls, and I get them from all over the world. And my idea is to have my jewelry be your go-to piece.
Right.
Now, very often when people think pearls, they think
Yeah.
the pearls that our mothers and grandmothers wore. These are not your granny's pearls.
they're not.
You've heard the saying, classy girls wear pearls. Well, my saying is Global Island Treasures are classy pearls for the modern girl.
Yes.
And I design them so that they will go with your every outfit, your dressiest outfits, your jeans, your bikini, and everything in between.
Yes, they can be super boho or very sophisticated. Yeah, I
Yes.
love how versatile they are. I'm actually going to be discussing later. I I always talk about versatility, and when you travel, less is more. So having these pieces, you said some of them you can wear multiple ways.
Oh yes, this piece that I have here, and if you can see the Tahitians right there, it's the same design. You can wear it at least a dozen different ways.
Wow.
This you can wear a million different ways because the pearls slide and you just do whatever you want.
Oh.
And all of them, I have them adjustable length. The one you have on, you could have worn it as a choker or very long.
And the back of it too, you were showcasing how even from the back it's so pretty.
Yes.
So you have an open back
So
garment.
from the front
Yes.
and the back, you look good because the jewelry is perfectly designed.
Well,
It's
thank
really-
you.
no,
Thank you
it's-
for
it's-
noticing that.
It's very elegant. It really is. Now, each of your pieces of jewelry have a very special charm on them.
Yes, I put my signature sterling silver charm on every piece. On one side, it says Global Island Treasures. That's the name of the jewelry. On the other side is the Sparrow's Wings logo. Sparrow's Wings is the way I got started doing this. It was supposed to be a one-time fundraiser. It's taken on a life of its own. And we still are involved with projects all the time, helping needy children right here in Florida and in third world countries around the world.
And tell me about some of the projects you've got coming up with Sparrow's Wings.
Well, one we just finished.
We
just finished, and I'm so excited about it. I chose a specific design of bracelet to make, a simple, well actually this is one of them right here. We called it the Island TLC. I donated the materials and my time. Every penny went to buy portable water filtration systems for the neediest children in the most remote areas of Honduras.
Wow.
And so we were able to supply, well, we had enough money left over that for some of them that we found out were sleeping on the ground, we're having beds built for them.
Oh,
and I'm so
wonderful.
excited about that. And the reason that's important to me, oysters must have clean water to produce pearls. Children must have clean water to thrive. So I think it's a perfect fit.
What perhaps you'd like to tell your audience
All right.
how they can get hold of you, how they can find Global Treasures.
Well, so for starters, I'm at the local markets in St. Augustine. In fact, Anastasia Island is my island. So you can find me Wednesdays and Saturdays at the local markets. My jewelry's in a few stores now, including the Cummer Art Museum here in Jacksonville.
Oh, beautiful.
And Retail Therapy in St. Augustine.
yes.
Or they can go to globalislandtreasures.com, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and find me, because more than half of what I do is custom order.
And I think you have to see it. You really do have to see it to appreciate how beautiful these jewels are. Thank you, Donna, for coming in. It was lovely to
Yes.
see these up close and personal.
Well, thank you. I've
It's a
been
real-
thrilled to be with
It was
y'all.
a real pleasure.
Thank you.
And don't change channels. We'll be back soon.
Earlier this week, you had a really cool interview.
I did, yes. Grant and I sat down with the wonderful Dr. Ali Kazrayan, who's a leading Jacksonville urologist.
I love Dr. Ali. He's really cool.
He is, and he gave some very fascinating information for our gentlemen. Greetings. We're here in the Jacksonville Buzz studio, and we are joined today by the leading doctor, I would say, urologist in Jacksonville, Dr. Ali Kazrayan. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
I'm going to jump straight in because the subject we're talking about really isn't a female problem, prostate cancer. It's a male problem, but I think females actually are the ones that get the men to...
Yeah, I mean, so one of the issues you kind of hit the nail on the head is men don't like to go to the doctor. And a lot of men, after sports physicals and things like that kind of dissipate from their lives, they may not go to the doctor again until they have a sentinel issue that gets them back into the healthcare system. So what we urge for men is to take the lead from the women in our world that are great patient advocates, they're great self-advocates, and they're great advocates for their diseases. And one of the diseases that is best exemplary of this is breast cancer.
Yes.
You know, you can see how women are great self-advocates, but that didn't start out that way. 20, 30 years ago, people couldn't utter the word cancer or breast cancer. Now, look where we are now. People are doing runs, people are celebrating survivorship, people are celebrating the advances in breast cancer, and they're celebrating self-advocacy, so they're getting their screenings, they're doing things of that nature, and they're pushing the people in their lives to do so. I'm a big proponent of using
relationships that we have to take care of each other, whether that your couple is a male-female couple, male-male couple. Use months that kind of bring this to attention. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. November, we as men get to wear mustaches. You're already halfway there. For Movember movement and the movements that allow us to talk about diseases that we usually don't talk about, to say, hey, this is the time of the year that I'm going to go get my prostate cancer screening. I'm going to do my colonoscopy. I'm just going to go get my regular screening with my primary care doctor. And the women in your lives get mammographies and things like that. And remember, 1% of breast cancer is male.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he's right, though. Men are hesitant. I know I personally am. So what's the general age where the screening should start or begin?
So great question. So that's very controversial. If you guys Google prostate cancer screening, you may get a number of different recommendations from a number of different respected organizations on what to do. Here's how I look at it. There's a study that was done in Malmö, Sweden. They looked at people in their lives and they followed them for the course of their lives, and they just got blood tests. It's kind of like a wellness study. And some colleagues went and got the blood from the freezer and analyzed them for PSA, prostate-specific antigen, which is a screening test for prostate cancer. And they went back and found that that first PSA in your 40s is probably the most important and the most representative of your future risk of a prostate cancer that may or may not impact your life. So between 45 and 49, they found that if your PSA was above 1.5, you represented 44% of men who may have a clinically significant prostate cancer that may impact their life. And so for those guys, you really should see a urologist and talk about the possibility of getting that evaluated to make sure you don't have prostate cancer. They did some amazing statistical analyses and found that if at age 45, so at age 45, if you don't have high risk factors, family history of prostate cancer, or if you're not African American, which has a higher risk of prostate cancer. If you get a PSA and it's less than 1, your risk of getting prostate cancer in your life is very, very low. If it's above 1, then you should probably get screened a bit more frequently. So using that, I think 45 is a great age to start screening for prostate cancer. And if you have a family history, if you're African American, think about doing it sometime in the early 40s. Maybe 40 is the age that you think about doing these things. So it's something important. And recently, colon cancer screening guidelines pushed the first colonoscopy to 45. So could it be for people with an average risk of prostate cancer, no family history, they're not African American, maybe 45 is a year that you think about, this is a year that I'm going to begin screening for
put that on the calendar.
There you go. Something
make it easy, make it smart, make it database and evidence-based, which evidence-based medicine is the best way for us to be smart and personalize the care to the guy sitting in front of us.
So it's just a blood test. It's a non-intrusive exam. So for all you men out there, you see, you just need a blood test. That's all you need. But if say, gentlemen find that there's an issue, they find that there's something strange going on, what are the questions that they should be asking?
So the interesting thing is, for prostate cancer, more than 90% of prostate cancer has absolutely no symptoms. Now, if you kind of look at this and go to Dr. Google, which is probably the best doctor with the highest level of training, is the internet.
That's where everybody seems to go these days.
So what you do have to be the internet's actually gotten much better, but you have to be very careful what you're looking at and who the information is coming from. But if you look at that and you put in prostate cancer, they talk about a lot of symptoms: trouble urinating, going frequently, waking up at night. A lot of those symptoms are related to BPH, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is not a malignancy. It's a non-cancerous growth of the prostate that affects your urination. So one thing to be mindful: if you do see blood in your urine, that's a urological 911. You have to go see a urologist. Doesn't mean you have bladder cancer, but we sure want to make sure that you don't.
Wow.
What cutting edge technologies do you have going on right now at the practice?
So if you kind of look, so a couple of things that we're very proud of, about that we were very early adopters of, is what's called a multiparametric MRI and a fusion targeted biopsy. So basically, before, when someone would have an elevated PSA or an abnormal rectal exam, you can't underestimate the power of the rectal exam giving us good information. And so for that, now we can get an MRI scan that specifically looks within the prostate and sees if there's an area of concern.
That's in the office?
No. You go to a radiology center.
Gotcha.
Some offices may have an MRI scanner, we don't. And it's a very specific type of MRI scan that specifically looks at the prostate in multiple phases, sees if there's a tumor there. They grade it from a 1 to 5 scale. And then if it's of concern, we now have the technology that we can target that lesion.
Wow.
Another technology that's really good, so that's a multiparametric MRI and a targeted MRI ultrasound fusion prostate biopsy. Big words for we get an MRI scan, essentially take the curtain off over the screen so you can see the stage.
Right.
So before, if someone needed a prostate biopsy, we would just randomly get different segments of the prostate and do about a 12 to 14 core biopsy. Now we can look behind and hit it. So it's kind of, instead of being imprecise, we can improve the precision and accuracy, just kind of like a sniper going directly at a target, as opposed to just guessing where you want to shoot.
The real deal.
Yeah.
Well, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then we have Movember, which just brings awareness to all of these issues. So I want to say thank you, Dr. Chris Ryan.
My pleasure.
Very much for highlighting some of these things that do tend to be a little bit awkward for men and women to talk about.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on.
No, of course. And the thing to think about with this, screening doesn't necessarily mean if you get diagnosed with prostate cancer that all prostate cancers are treated equally.
Right.
We have changed the paradigm of that. 45% of prostate cancers are low volume, low risk that you can monitor.
Right.
Our surgeries are less invasive with more attention to the quality of life issues. Same with radiation therapy. But now we have all these in-between technologies like HIFU, high intensity focused ultrasound, where we use ultrasound technology and we can do focal therapy where you just treat the portion that has the cancer.
Right.
Well, thank you.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah, so have I.
Get screened. It can save your life.
There we go. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Prost to join us at Oktoberfest Jacksonville, October 12th and 13th at Anheuser-Busch Brewery. The best band, the Wunderbar Band, will be there. We have 2 days, 20 bands, all sorts of fun entertainment for the entire family. Oktoberfestjacksonville.com. Prost!
Right, super! Ziggy Saki, Ziggy Saki! Hi, hi, hi! Ziggy Saki, Ziggy Saki! Hi, hi, hi! Prost!
And welcome back. I'm Amy West. Adrian and I were sitting here. We don't wax very deep very often here, but since it's just girls today, we're having some girly conversation. And I was kind of opening up and discussing some things that I've also been talking on Instagram, Amy West Travel. And also we'll be talking about this on Jacksonville Buzz on their Instagram probably eventually as well. But just society in general, stigmas that lie within being a woman, as well as generationally. So I was talking about this week, I tried out Botox for the second time, and I was speaking up a little bit to my audience about one of the reasons I avoided doing it for so long was A, needles, but B, is the stigma that our society has on like getting work done, and really the over opinionation of society on women's beauty as a whole, which is, I think, misplaced. You know, they want women to be all natural and all beautiful, but the first time you start getting older, they're going to hold it against you because you're not allowed to get older either. You just can't do anything about it. And
that's true.
It can be really challenging. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had and had often.
I know, and when you started talking about it and the fact that you'd gone and had Botox, my initial gut reaction was, because for me, it's a fear. It's a deep down rooted fear of not only the needles, but I think it's the fear of I might not be super happy with the way I look, but you know what? It's me, and I know that this is the way it is. I'm the best I'm going to look today, because tomorrow I may look different. And I think it's a generational thing as well.
Yeah.
Because growing up at your age, I didn't have the option for a quick fix. And maybe if I had known about it then, maybe I would have wanted to get involved. But I think I'm also perhaps too far down the line of not having any procedures or anything done to do any little quick fixes. I mean, of course, I could have an entire facelift. That's neither here nor there. But I think for Botox and fillers and things like that, for me, it's still difficult. I've seen too many people who don't look the way they should look.
Right. Well, and there's a good point there as well. I think I've heard different actresses and performers saying, like, if everyone gets work done, we're never going to know, you know, what a 60, 70, 80-year-old woman looks like anymore, because it's all altered reality. And that actually speaks to, like you were saying, our generation as a whole, because, well, I grew up, I got into modeling. I never had to worry about being perfect because I knew they would just Photoshop everything. So that, it took a little bit of, like, worry off of me. I was like, I could be confident. They're just going to shop it all anyways. But then that alters the reality that our children, you know, I have 2 daughters, so being an example, or, you know, at least being able to have them acknowledge what reality really looks like, I think is really important. Which is, they see me often completely dressed down. I'm not, I don't wake up like this. This is not how I go around. No, I don't. No. But we were actually discussing that argument of, like, a lot of times people will say, well, don't do too much and, you know, be natural. I think as women as a whole, we are trained, you know, you grow up, you start putting makeup on, make it look natural, make it look normal, make it look, you know, you get your hair done, you dye your hair. You're not going to over dye it. It's the same thing with, like, freshening up or getting work done. Like, generally women aren't going to go straight to, like, I want to look like a plastic cartoon. We're just trying to feel confident.
Some have done, and that's the sad part about it.
Yeah. And, you know, we're just trying to be confident. And I want to say, like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to do anything and you want to be all natural, that's right for you. And if you decide you want to do something that makes you feel more confident, that's cool, that's right for you too. And you should not let anyone make you feel less than for whatever your personal choices are, because it's all about you just feeling good about you.
I think that's a very good way to put it, and I still feel that I'm not sure that I want poison injected into my body unless I really have to have it for some reason. But it's a good subject, and I think we'll touch on this again, because I think we ought to get Grant in it on the next time.
I would like his opinion
see
too,
his opinion
as a husband and a father.
Absolutely.
I think that would be really interesting. Someone who's on camera too. It's all important for all of us.
Yeah. And we'd like to hear from you about what you think about it. But we'll be right back after the commercial. What a great show that was. Such good guests. And Natasha Jones from Glamour Gourmet.
Yep, Donna Gray from Global Island Treasures. And I can't wait to collect my own treasures. It's been a great show. We hope you'll come back and see us next week. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Your chance to taste our finished product. However, I do have one final stop to take you to before we head into the tap room for our taste test. Now, opened in 1969, the Jacksonville Brewery provides fresh beer daily to the southern regions of our great country, including Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. The city
Hey, you all right?